Welcome to SvyadhyayaHub. Hi friends. In my previous videos, I explained about the MySQL features, introduction, products, and the next video, I explained about the architecture. And this video, I'm going to explain MySQL installation, so learning path, MySQL prerequisites. So what are the things is required to install the software? This will give the prerequisites. Pre-installation, before installing the MySQL, what the softwares and other things, what are the things need to check? This will give the information. MySQL installation. So how many types of installation? Just is a theory part. We're going to learn here. And post installation. Once we done the installation, what are the things we need to take care in the post installation? Prerequisites. So always is a required. What we have to have the softwares and hardware requirement. So we have to uh, capture the particular software and hardware requirement to install our MySQL product. So essentially hardware and software prerequisites is required and the installing Unix or Linux or Windows to optimal our performance. So there are the two things minimum we have to take care. That is a hardware requirement and software requirement. Coming to hardware requirement, memory is important. So how much? The minimum 4 GB is required. CPU cores. Okay, for the processor, we require the CPU cores. Minimum 2 CPU cores is minimum one. Recommended is 2 plus CPU cores. Okay, even processor always x86 64-bit or ARM 64 we have to choose. It's good for our software installation. Storage minimum 20 GB. So because it will take for OS and it will use for our MySQL as well. And port is default port is 3306. We have to enable the default port of connections. So these are the hardware requirements. Coming to software requirements, see Linux dependencies. Say what exactly the OS version, that Ubuntu 8.4 plus. These are the minimum requirement for 8 plus uh, 8 and more above versions. If you are going to install 8 and above versions, the minimum operating system requirements is Ubuntu 18.4, Red Hat CentOS 7.9 plus, SUSE CentOS 15 plus, kernel version 3.10 higher, libraries, libio, libnuma, libgirl. These are the libraries for the Unix. The privileges, root or sudo access should be there for the user to install the software package. Windows, coming to Windows, operating system should be Windows 10.9 above version, or if you come to the Windows Server 2016 and above versions are important. Here the dependent softwares required Microsoft Visual C++ 2009 redistributable. And here also the same privileges, administrator access should be on the OS level to install the MySQL on Windows. These are the prerequisites. Okay. Next part, going to pre-installation. Pre-installation, we have to validate the server. Okay. So what are the things you need to verify? So system requirements, verify the memory, CPU storage, meet minimum specifications, compatibility of OS. Okay, ensure that OS version is good version or the particular version is compatible for the particular software, MySQL software version. So we have to compare when we are going to download the packages or when we are going to install the package, we have to check the compatibility of the operating system. Also, user permissions also required. So always have the root permission or administrative permission for the user to install the MySQL. So that you need to check. So network configuration, port should be enabled. Dependencies installations, all libraries, okay. Other than other softwares, if whatever they required, we have to install. Package managers. If we are using particular kind of operating system, it will use APT or from some of the one some of the or equivalent, whatever exactly the repository in parts are there, you have to update it and use it. Available storage. Ensure that we should have 20 GB minimum free disk space for installing the software using the software package, because if we are going to test, create a database and other things, it's a required minimum to work on the server, because even OS operating system level also it will take the storage. Existing MySQL version. So this also need to check if something, suppose in the organization level, if we are using the existing servers, sometimes they might use for some other projects, might be they install the old versions or might be install some other purpose. You need to check, validate whether it is installed or not, whether any of the MySQL versions are available or any separate ports are enabled or not enabled. You have to check in the server itself. Also, firewall enable Linux and firewalls. Configure the Linux and adjust the firewall rules for MySQL access. So basically MySQL is required setting the firewall settings. Okay, so we have to check the Linux and firewall values properly configured or not. So permissive is the Linux. Next, installation. So how we have to do installation? What type of installations we have? See, we already discussed we have major operating system and Windows and Unix family operating system. Okay, so here are the overview, just a standard package installation. See, if you come to the Linux or Unix, so installing the package, we have different kind of repositories, that is apt, yum, rpm, okay, deb. So all based on the operating system, we have a package managers. We have to use the package managers and execute the commands. Just if it is all, see, in the each operating system having the package manager. Example, if you come Ubuntu, apt is a app, apt is a apt or apt is a package manager. So apt, if you check the available versions, so based on the operating system, it will come inbuilt. You will get the MySQL version inbuilt free version. So apt list space MySQL star, if you give the version will come. So same like apt space install MySQL star. So it will install the available version MySQL. In a Windows, install using the MySQL install. See, in Windows it will not come. You have to download the MySQL, okay, and you have to execute the file. So there is executable file come installer. So you have to execute, okay, .msa file. So that you have to extract and execute. So it will install in the Windows. This is a standard package installation. See, this is standard or simple package installation we can call. So manual binary installation. So binary installation here we have to do manually. We have to download the packages. We have to extract the binaries and we have to put into uh, customized location or defined location, and we have to configure the paths, environment variable, everything we have to do manually. Okay, and we have to make the suitable advanced users who need custom configurations. What exactly how, what type of user, MySQL user we have to create. Whatever means MySQL user we have to create, we have to provide, we have to assign the group. All these things manually we have to do. Okay, and also the path where the directories we created, we have to provide the permissions to that directories, MySQL user and group and owner permissions we have to give. Like all these things we have to give the manual. That called as a manual binary installation. And the next is source code installation. So this is compile MySQL from source code for specific requirements. So this is for the specific requirements we have to compile and we can customize this. So this is a customization based on our requirement to reach our expertise. So this is a source distribution. We call it as a source distribution. So we can customize this software for our requirement purpose. Okay. Coming to, these are the major three ways to install the MySQL. Also, we have other environments, Docker area, Docker container also we can do. repository installations like MAPT RPM repositories. We can use enable the repository and download a package. We can install it cloud-based, AWS, Google, Azure. We have like different cloud-based also. The Snap package in the Linux will have a Snap package. So these are all the different way of installation MySQL. Okay. So we can install based on the our available operating system. Post installation. So we saw that prerequisites, pre-installation part, and installation, post installation. Once we have done once we have installed our MySQL, okay. So minimum things we have to do. What exactly the securing our database. So how we can secure setting the root password, because we are going to install the root user permissions user. That may be the root user, or maybe the user may have the root permissions to install the MySQL. So we have to secure the our user password, removing anonymous user. So if any anonymous user, so delete default anonymous accordingly secure. See, these are all the security purpose we are going to take care of the things. Disable remote root login. So always we have to disable the root login. For root login, remote access. We have to give the local access for the remote root user. So other users based on the requirement will create, but the root user, because root is having the full privileges. So we should not provide uh, no remote access. We have to restrict that, and we have to give the local access only. Remove test databases. If any databases will come, we have to delete it. Create regular user accounts, non-root user accounts based on the daily requirements or clients requirements. We have to create and give it to the clients. Configure backups configuration if required. uh, Backups is important, not if required. It is important to recover our database if any issues will happen. And configuration settings. So configuration settings, so we have in a Unix family my.cnf. .cnf is an extension file. You can put any of the my.cnf or MySQL.cnf. So based on the operating system version, that file naming conversion will be changed, but extension will be .cnf on the Unix. If you come into Windows, .ini is the extension. So you have to adjust the few of the parameter values. Okay, if you want to change the database, directory path, buffers, cache size, connection size, buffer pool size. Okay, um, InnoDB parameter values. Okay, port value. So all the things you can keep in the configuration file. The configuration based on the configuration file, the server will read and run as per the configuration file. So by using the configuration file, it will utilize the available parameter values to make run smoothly and give the better performance for the server. Okay. So this is a post installation. We have to take care of all the things. So we have done this. This is a theoretical part of the installation. What are the things we need to take care? Thank you. Please subscribe, view, and share to other to learn this MySQL.